Wow, I've been so busy playing Dragon Quest Monsters that I haven't been able to talk about the major Rekieta news this week. This week's Rekieta retardation. I apologize for this because this game has been a nightmare. But like, I'm almost through it now. I'm at the final area. So what's happened? Okay, what has been the major Rekieta update? Did he get through sober January? Well, of course not. And we all knew this was going to be the case. We knew there would be like some slip up or something he would do that would reveal like that he was drinking off stream. And there were lots of indications of that. He was doing a lot of shorter shows. They were a lot more legal focused. That seemed to be like the trend I noticed is that he would come on for a couple of hours, he would talk about some legal topic, and then he would just bounce, after 2 hours. Keep in mind, I just got done watching that like 7 hour live stream he did with Drexel and Keon back in the day. And yeah, like the difference between like those shows where like these guys will like sit up and like talk for hours and hours and hours, like it's very palpable. And like plenty of times, like the mask flips and you start seeing like who Nick really is. But for whatever reason, the presumably because the Rumble contract is about to be renewed, Nick is trying to be a good boy on camera, right? Like that's what he said he was going to do this month in January was like no sober January, I think he called it. And then he like rolled that back and said, "Oh, no drinking on stream January." So like yeah, he was apparently drinking a little bit like off stream. Honestly, like I'm not sure I can blame him for that cuz he drinks so much that like I've heard it speculated that stopping now, like cutting it out completely would like literally kill him. Is my understanding of that. He needs to like wean off of it slowly, I think is the way to do it. So yeah, maybe drinking off stream wasn't like a bad idea, but like keep it moderate, like control it, like understand that you have a problem, right? And Rekieta doesn't seem willing to acknowledge that he has a problem ever. When I watch a live stream and I see him sitting there just going like, oh, this cork is terrible, it's alcoholic proof, I'm just kind of like, oh, he's making a joke out of his own problem. It's like it's like ridiculous. But yeah, like that isn't like the news, okay? Like, we all knew sober January would fail. It was like self-evident. He's gone right back to drinking. I can confirm it. Like literally the first stream of the year, the first stream in February of the year. The year's going by so quickly. The first stream of February, he's on camera like drinking, like, as we all knew he would, right? So what does that mean? Okay, what is the situation? Well, what happened in January? The last January 30th, I think, a hot tub stream, right? It wasn't on his channel. It was with the Steel Toe Morning Show guys who I didn't like I haven't talked about this a lot, but I actually was like commenting on their videos for a while there. I was watching them, right? Because they were covering DSP, and it's always a riot seeing people like cover DSP. But like, like I watch these guys and I'm just kind of like, after my experience with Kata, I'm like starting to see through the signs, like the red flags. Like if you see people like talk about getting kicked off of various platforms and like complaining about censorship, that's always a flag, a red flag that they're doing something they're not supposed to, right? And I didn't want to stick around. I didn't want to keep supporting them. I actually, I don't know if I told YouTube to stop recommending their videos. But yeah, I stopped watching for that reason because I knew that they were degenerates. And what happened? What happened? They end up with Rekieta. They end up enabling each other's nonsense. I don't know what it is about internet personalities, but like I don't understand why all of them are like this. Like when they get together and they show their true colors and like start having fun, as Nick puts it, like it all becomes really, really gay really quickly. And that's what happened, like on the hot tub stream, right? Like it's Nick, Aaron, April, and Kayla, right? All in a hot tub together, all being like completely spazzed out, drunk out of their minds, just absolutely pitiful people, right? Like I am not defending anyone on that stream, right? Like I've got on record saying that like Kayla is the most sympathetic person there because like she kind of expresses discomfort a little bit. Like she has a little bit of self-awareness as to like what's going on is retarded. But like by and large, like in general, like everyone there is just unbelievable. like in their actions and their behaviors, right? Like, oh, take out your milkers. Oh, like let's have an orgy. Let's have a foursome. Like I watched the Alyssa Clips version. I don't know if she cut it down or like what the full stream is like, but like the content I watched, like on stream on Lee Live, a couple of days ago. Was it last night? Shit. Like a while ago, right? The stream I watched, the entire thing was just them being like sexual degenerates, like making swinger jokes, making like sex jokes, like, hoarding themselves out to the audience, basically. All right. And it was like disgusting. It was deplorable. It's like the kind of thing that you would see like back in the OnlyFans back in the day, where like, Nick would put the bottle, like that kind of thing, right? The Baldo thing, like, oh, we're just having fun. Like, no, it's like I'm watching this and like it's legit making me uncomfortable. Like some of the things like that were said in the stream were very, very disturbing in this sense. I'm starting to understand, the more I watch Nick that like he is a homosexual, right? I think that is 100% confirmed at this point. Like I don't think I'm the only one saying this, but like you can tell by his mannerisms, by the way he acts, the way he talks, like the way that he flirts with like the other guy way more than his own wife, right? Like the way this stream is set up, it's like, bro, like Nick is 100% gay. Like the swinger thing, that is just an excuse for him to like explore his sexuality, right? That is the thing I come away with this. But like the reason that the hot tub stream was interesting for me, and the reason why I slugged through all of Alyssa Clip's uploads of it, the reason I found it so interesting was that like this is the first time we've seen Kayla on camera in quite a long time, right? I don't want to say it's a couple years. It's been a while. Like she's appeared in like photographs and stuff like that. Like we've heard like Nick talk about her and stuff like that. Like we have a vague idea of what she's like, right? We've heard some stories about her, but like one of the things I've always said is that like the one person who will kind of like dismantle Nick's entire like persona, who will like actually give us a little bit more insight as to like what he's actually like, off camera, what he typically does, it's Kayla, right? Kayla is the person, like the key to all this in a lot of ways, right? And like one of the big mysteries, like surrounding this entire thing, is like how culpable is she? Like how accountable is she for this? Is she enabling him? Is she a victim? Is she like the one controlling him? Right? Like that's been something that a lot of people have been like talking about. And like with this hot stream, like I do think I have like my own opinion on this, and this is just my opinion, but like I do think seeing this hot tub stream, like seeing how she acts at certain points, how she's like the only one like speaking out about like things being too gay, right? When I see her like act like visibly uncomfortable at certain points, it's like, yeah, like she's uncomfortable with it. She doesn't like it, but she's going along with it because that's what Nick wants, right? She's being a dutiful wife and going with like Nick's nonsense, right? And to me, that's really sad that like Nick would use and abuse this woman in this way. But I don't know, maybe it's just my opinion. Like again, like my view on this, like recently over the past year, I said this in the prediction video. Like I do think Kayla needs to leave. I think she needs to take the kids and get out. She needs to take Nick's trust fund money and she needs to just go, because this is just like really self-destructive behavior. That's just really, I think, gonna get them all killed, right? Um, Nick is like driving around drunk. I think they joked about that on the stream. Like, you have all these issues with like the family and the finances and like the lack of working and stuff like that. Like, there are all these things that just seem to be setting up like something disastrous, right? And like I don't know exactly what it's gonna look like, right? Like that's the weird thing about this, is that like this isn't like most lolcow arcs at the moment. Like like it took Christian years and years to get to the point where like he had sex with his own mom, right? So it's kind of like that in that way, where like you're looking at this dynamic, you're looking at what these people are doing, like how they behave, like you're getting an insight as to like what things are happening, and like you get this impression that things are going to get really, really, really dark, and yet you don't know necessarily how, right? It's weird because like every month it feels like there's some new insight as to like what's going on with Rekieta. He reveals something new that's going on. There's some new problem. Like a big thing on Kiwi Farms right now is that people are doing deep dives on his income. Right, he's had like a huge decline of like viewership over the past several years. And I mentioned on stream that on the Rumble chat, when I was watching the Rumble thing, like the numbers look fake. Right, like he supposedly has like what was it, like 4,000 viewers watching at once, but like the chat wasn't moving fast enough for that, right? We talked about that on stream. Like I didn't feel as if I was watching like a 4,000 viewer stream, right? Like it just feels like Nick has surrounded himself with like the degenerates who will enable his nonsense while cutting out like all the people who speak out about it, right? Like we have been seeing a lot less lawyers on the stream. We have been seeing more and more of these kinds of people. People like Nick Masterson, people like Vito, people like Riley, people like Ethan Ralph. These guys, the Steel Toe Morning Show people, like all of these degenerates who just come out and just try to tell you that, like, Nick, it's a good thing to be a degenerate. You should live out your fantasy of being Kevin Spacey in American Beauty. You should do everything you've ever dreamed of doing because nothing else matters, right? It's really disgusting, honestly. Seeing someone like ruin his life like this, right? More than his life actually. Like, Kayla's gonna get ruined by this, I'm sure. She's never gonna be the same after this. The kids are getting ruined. There's just this real real indication that things are going to get really, really nasty, I think. I don't know how exactly this is going to play out because I've never seen a situation like this before. Will Kayla just pack up and leave? Will she stick out? It's one of those things where like I just don't know what is going to happen next.